Good morning, everyone. It is January 24th. This is County Commissioners Board meeting.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Present.
Commissioner Harris?
Present.
Chair Waymeyer?
Present.
Commissioner Dunn?
Present.
Dickinson?
All right, we're going to pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have an invocation today? Doesn't look like it. All right. Correspondence and organizational business. Anything? No, sir. All right, public comment?
None.
None. Consent agenda today would include tax change orders in the amount of negative $100,403.36. I assume it's that time of year for payment under protest hearings. Yep. And then meeting minutes from January 17th. Is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Chair Waymeyer?
Yes. First item of business is to consider buying a used vehicle for community corrections.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This morning, we are asking for approval to purchase a used 2021 Ford Escape from Bob Allen Ford. Pardon me. This will be in the amount of $20,000. They're offering a trade-in value of $7,000 for the Ford Explorer I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, as well as $1,500 for a 2009 Ford Fusion that we had in the fleet. And this brings the total value of this purchase to $20,000. We budgeted this money in our fiscal year 24 grant process, so the money is already there, and this would all come out of Community Corrections grant funds. So I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Appreciate you doing the legwork on this, finding the vehicle and being willing to buy something modest to use.
Absolutely.
It's with what we do here, not new and fancy, and
That's right. And this vehicle definitely meets our needs. It doesn't have any bells and whistles or anything, and it's all-wheel drive, so it'll get us around in this kind of weather too.
all right. Is there a motion to approve purchasing the vehicle from Bob Allen for $20,000?
Motion approved. Second.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Chair Waymeyer?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, our second item is to discuss the year-end call totals for the ambulance department. Or not the ambulance department, but for 911, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Sir.
Just wanted to give you the year-end totals that I accumulated for our center for the last year. We received 11,606 911 calls, 58,345 administrative calls, and 142 text and 911 calls. When it comes to answering 911 calls, we meet the national standard as set forth by NENA, which is answering all 911 calls within 15 seconds for a 95%. This is a national standard that we work diligently to meet. And you'll notice on the phone breakout, well, not the phone breakout, the page where in July we had the spike down to 96%. That was when we had the storm at the end of July, and even with that, we still met all of our calls within the NENA standard. Last year, we made 52,143 entries into our CAD system for our responding agencies. 58% of those calls were for law enforcement. Fire and EMS was at 7%, and other agencies was at 1%. Our center is also accredited ACE through medicals, and we have to queue 755 medical calls that are handled with our CAD system utilizing ProQA. And the girls work hard to be compliant within the standard to meet the ACE accreditation. We just recently did our last quarter, and we still meet the ACE standards, so they're doing really well with that. Also, with push-to-talks on the radio, this is dispatch talking to our field units. We had 326,928 push-to-talks. That's 350 hours of dispatch speaking on the radio. I know that's not a lot in the grand scheme of all the hours for the whole year, but it is quite a bit of talking on the radio. Currently, our staffing level is at 10. We're short 2 people. If we're fully staffed, we're at 12. Any questions?
Correct me if I'm wrong, with that 95%, what really kills you is this time of year accidents, bad accident. And
Yes.
10 people drive by and call it in, but you're getting the info you need from the first one and the others are kind of
Yes.
redundant, yeah. So, that's pretty amazing. What you guys do. Do we need to accept this report or is it just
Nope,
information?
just information.
All right.
Alrighty, thank you.
Busy. Thank you. All right. Third item is to authorize Foley Equipment to rebuild bucket cylinder for our CAT 323F track hoe.
Commissioners, we've got an issue with our track hoe. They've tracked, it's a leaking bucket cylinder that we need to get repaired. We looked at two different options. One is rebuilding the cylinder and then getting a new cylinder. In my notes here, I indicated that the rebuilt cylinder came with a 3-year warranty. That's actually 18 months. I looked back through my notes this morning, and so that it's 18 months rather than a full 3 years. That does include parts and labor. A new cylinder is a little more expensive and only comes with a 1-year warranty that covers only parts. So our shop staff, they would have been here this morning, but we've got somebody out sick. Their preference is to go with the rebuilt cylinder for $10,859.79 with a 18-month warranty.
Comments, questions? You know how many hours are on that machine?
I do not, but it, we use it mostly during construction season.
Hey, we've had it a little while, but we don't use it every day.
No, when you need it, you need it.
Yeah, yeah. You know if the machine itself was getting up there? Was there a motion to approve the rebuild of the cylinder for $10,859.79?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Waymire?
Yes. All right. Staff reports. Derek?
Yeah, thanks, Colt. Few things. One of you received a email from Baldwin City asking that Franklin County provide a letter of support for a grant application for what they are calling the Maple Leaf Trail, which is basically a trail between Baldwin City and Ottawa. We write letters of support all the time. It takes very little staff time to do that. I'm in favor of doing that, but wanted to give the four of you an opportunity to provide any comments or thoughts that you have. We've talked about this off and on before. These are difficult grants to get, so I don't know if it'll bear fruit, but certainly willing to help the cause.
At least the second time we would have wrote a grant for Baldwin City was applying to build a trail along the railroad. So they didn't obviously get it the first one or two times, but.
Any concerns with the county doing that?
No, we've done several in the past, and it's to our advantage too, so.
Okay. Last week, Dawn, you spoke about the county providing a meal through the Wellsville Chamber. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think 24 years we've been part of the council up there, and it's something they do every month. They don't always have it at the Wellsville Rehab Center, but 90% of the time they do. And I know Paul has done it before, and I've done it individually in the past, a couple times over the years, and I didn't know, and they may even be filled up for this year, I don't know. But they brought it up the other day, signing it, and I thought I'd bring it to you guys. We wanted to sponsor one time. The rehab center just does it for a flat $200, no matter how many people come, whether it's 20 or 30 or 40. And they provide the big dining room always for it too, so didn't know if you guys would be interested in signing up for one time.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Dawn?
No problem.
I'll get with you then
Okay.
and see what we needed. They may be filled up. They just handed it out the other day.
Sure.
So I thought I'd bring it to you.
Okay.
And if they're filled up, we'll do something in the future.
Okay, that sounds great. I wish Sarah wouldn't have left, but Sarah's doing a fantastic job in dispatch. Super happy with them. Her and Janae are tremendous leaders. I mean, the data speaks for itself, and they continue to meet their accreditation standards, but they've slowed turnover way down. They've got a really good group of dispatchers down there. Something that I don't take for granted. I think about that often, because that's a very difficult job. This has been a tough year so far for a lot of our employees. Think about our public works employees and how hard they've worked to start this year. It's been a lot. I think about our first responders, our ambulance employees, our sheriff's officers. The weather obviously makes their job a lot harder because they still have to answer those calls. They still have to get to our citizens. And they've had a couple of incidents this year that have been really, really difficult. So thinking about them, again, I can't imagine doing what they do. Very, very difficult jobs. I've talked to Christy. Will talk to Sheriff Richards, support them in any way that I can from administration. I just know that we've got a lot of folks hurting right now, and hopefully the weather will straighten out and that'll help. And hopefully we'll have a little bit better time moving forward, but absolutely thinking about them. So that's all I have, Cole. Thanks.
Pat? You have anything from community corrections? No? All right. Ambulance department? Okay, come on up.
Good morning. So it's been a while since I've been in front of you, but we've been, as Derek spoke, incredibly busy. I just want to start off first by giving a huge thank you to David Lee and Public Works. During the snow event, we have been challenged significantly just with the weight of the vehicles and trying to get ambulances where they need us. And by having some communication before the event, we were able to come up with a system that's worked just pretty flawlessly to make sure that our ambulances get where they need to be and then are able to get to the hospitals where we need to be. And in that, we've had some really, really sick and injured people that were, those ambulances did make it was a matter of life or death for them. And thank you very much for making sure we were able to get where we needed to be. Luckily, like Derek said too, things are starting to thaw out, but then now we're gonna have to deal with the mud. But that's, but it's still a little better than the snow. Just wanted to give you an update too. We had been talking about our community education coordinator being able to teach some more public education classes. She was able to get through and obtain the training that she needs to become a coach for Matter of Balance, and that's a fall prevention program. So we now have an educator in that realm in our department again. One of the goals we had for just our billing office was we wanted to make sure that our office manager had the best tools and the best knowledge. So she was able to attend a class, and she is now a certified ambulance coder. That certification's good till 2025 for her. And last but not least, I did want to give you an update on the Wellsville station and the progress there. Over the course of the last couple of months, it was brought to my attention that the builder had some pretty significant personal events that had happened in his life, one of which was a death in the family that has set things a little further behind schedule. We had the issues with the gas lines, but those are now officially in, and we're still waiting for drywall. So hopefully once that drywall gets in, we'll be pretty quick from there to be able to move in. Weather, of course, is delaying the process, as it does for everything. Tom Winter is got a plan in place for our alert system. So we have all the equipment, the speakers, the alerters, everything that we need to be able to have a functioning ambulance service there. Tom is already working on getting those put in. He's installed the wiring for those, so we'll be good to go once drywall starts. He's going to be able to go up there and just pop those in at that time. Dustin and I are working on the internet connectivity aspect for it up there. They're playing a little more difficult to get a hold of, but Dustin and I are going to be persistent so that they're going to have to listen to us. And other than that, I know Louise and I will be working with Joanna to make sure our building has proper signage and furnishings. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
I would just add to that Joanna, as her and I, along with Christy, have been working on our event in the spring, assuming
Yes.
we can get it completed by then, our open house, our dedication. Looking forward to that.
Any costs associated with vacating our old place?
Not that I am aware of. Derek may have heard differently, but that we weren't ever told it was.
Turn off the lights when we leave?
I believe they have some plans for that
They
space.
do, yeah, it's a win for the city too.
Good.
so.
Thanks for the update.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dustin, anything? David?
So we, when all this snow started, we've had personnel working just about every day since it started, including many nights and weekends as well. With the ice coming in Sunday night into Monday, we had our snowplows out around midnight, Sunday night, Monday morning. And we've treated all the paved roads at least once, many of them several different times. That work continued yesterday. The warming temperatures have really helped out. The blade operators on our gravel roads, they're extremely wet, icy in many locations, and we continue to try to make progress on those, taking care of snow drifts, icy hills and curves. Those are our priorities. All of our roads are extremely wet. Many of them are in pretty rough condition right now. And that's going to continue until the sun comes out and things warm up a little bit and we're able to actually do some good on the roads. In many instances right now, if we were to go out and start plowing, we would do more damage than good. So we're trying to respond to calls and be available for emergency services and those sorts of things. But it's really going to come down to a little bit of sunshine and warmer temps to be able to really put the roads back together the way they need. So we'll continue battling that. A couple of project updates. Osborne Terrace, we had a project meeting yesterday. They intend to pour one of the railings on the bridge today. And they've got the other railing scheduled for Monday to pour those. So once those are done, all the concrete will be done for the bridge, and then it's a matter of cleaning up the site and finishing dirt work. The weather has pushed them back. I know that they hope to be really close to being done by now, but with the weather that we've had the last 3 or 4 weeks, however long it's been, they are behind their internal schedule. As of yesterday, they had only used 90 of the 120 working days, so they're ahead of schedule in reality. So, but they intend to get these railings poured and start on some of the cleanup effort that they can in these conditions. And then once it's a little bit drier, a little bit warmer, they'll be able to finish up the dirt work and get this project completed. So sometime next month is, don't have a firm date. It's all weather dependent at this point. But they're ahead of schedule, and I think we've got a really good project out there. Texas Road, that bridge replacement project, tomorrow morning, we have a field check meeting, so the plans have been developed and have been reviewed by KDOT. We're going to meet on site tomorrow morning to review the plans and any other issues that might be out there. Provided that all that goes smoothly, they ought to be able to finish the plans in the next couple of months and give us plenty of time for any utility relocation or right-of-way acquisition efforts prior to a fall bid letting date. So that project is moving right along as well. Old 50, we should have completed plans sometime in the next week or so, which will enable us to get this project bid in February. So all the projects, I think, are in a good place right now and moving right along. And that's all I have for you today.
Still, excuse me.
No, you go
Are
ahead.
you still down T-Truck?
We, as of this morning, we have 4 of our 5 frontline trucks are operational. We are still waiting on a transmission for one of them. One of our back row trucks is operational as well, and so we have 5 usable trucks as of this morning. You know, at one time during the storm, we were down to 1. And at one point, when we were fighting the ice, we were down to 2. So, you know, it was quite an issue for us. Our shop folks, they're miracle workers to keep the fleet going in those kind of conditions. Very thankful for the noxious weed personnel and their efforts to get out on the main roads. We've always used them in subdivisions and parking lots, but they were out on our main roads helping battle the snow and ice as well. So big thank you to those folks for helping supplement when we were having these mechanical issues.
You see the guys out driving, but that shop is busy when it was that cold, and then cold's just awful on equipment. Even our newer good equipment has I mean, things happen when you're in those conditions, but, and then you have that many people out running around on the road. That shop was busy.
You know,
Tents there, they could feel the pressure of people wanting to.
absolutely. Not only did they keep the equipment going so that we had trucks out, but they also assisted in helping with slide-offs. We had a number of those. As you can imagine, it doesn't take much for a big, heavy truck to end up in a ditch, and we fought that from the get-go when the storms began, and continued with the ice earlier this week.
And the ambulance department, you guys will run blocker for ambulances on the
Exactly,
rural calls. Go
exactly.
ahead of them with a.
And there were a couple of times where we parked, where we, at night, we made sure that we had pieces available in case of emergency, and folks ready to answer the call if the call came in. So I think our folks handled this about as well as they can. It's going to be, you know, coming out of this, it's not going to be an overnight situation where we get the roads back to where they need to be. It's going to be weeks before that really occurs, but we're going to stay right after it, and as conditions allow, we're going to do the best we can.
Thanks, Ed.
Anything, clerks?
Just one thing, I sent you guys an email regarding a meeting coming up in Coffee County. Dawn asked me this morning about a possible conflict, so I'm going to check on the county commissioners meeting, their statewide meeting, and see when that is, so we see if there's a conflict, and I'll update you guys on that. So, but I'm going to need a response from you guys on whether you want to go to the Southeast Kansas meeting in Coffee County or not. But I will send you another email following up on Dawn's question, and then if you guys could get back to me on that, that'd be great.
Lou? All right, anything?
Hadn't really had any meetings since the last meeting, but I will be attending the Solid Waste Authority meeting in the county tomorrow. Pat and I will be going down to, Dave is tied up with the deal up there on the bridge, and that's important to Franklin County. So that's the purpose of having that third person. So Pat and I will be going down there in the morning. I know the other Pat, with planning and zoning, he's been talking, and I've been talking. He's went to, I belong to the Emergency Basin Advisory Board for the state, and he went to one of our meetings and And then afterwards, we got to talking, and I know water issues is something you don't know until you don't have it, or it's not supplied. And he informed me that we'd lost a couple of building permits last year because people couldn't get water. So there's 2 brand-new homes that didn't get built, and I don't know. He just kind of wanted to talk about it and discuss it and see what I thought he thought. I think it's a good thing planning and zoning is taking initiative that direction, not only enforce it, but to promote, the use of and the construction of. And so what I'll be meeting with him. Well, I don't know where we'll go again with it, but you got to start talking about it. What brought another subject up was the new chip plant they're building in Coffee County. Yeah, I got the paperwork at home. It's unbelievable. They use 500,000 gallons a day. Going to use in that factory, and luckily they got Melbourne. That's their only 2 or 3 of them that are in water that you can't even touch it. Can't even touch it. But luckily they can tap into Melbourne. So what happens if we get that kind of a deal? Require that kind of water, and Ottawa provide that kind of water. That's all I need.
Yeah, I kind of fell asleep when you brought up the trail along Midland Railroad. I want my name to say no on that advisory. Midland Railroad has never been a friend to the farmers and ranchers that parallel that track. They don't maintain the roads. They don't maintain the county road crossings. And having another activity along there just probably means more aggravation for their neighbors. So I would be opposed to supporting that endeavor. And that's all I have.
Anything to add? We need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
For a second.
Did he second?
You got it? All right.
I'll get with Dave.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.